TitleMatchNetwork.com.
What are your memories of the night you got 103 stitches to your eye?
What a rush. As our good friend Hawk would tell you, what a rush. It was a rush. I'll just tell you the whole story. I had to go out there and wrestle against Brad Armstrong. He's the one who did it to me.
Right.
You know how Brad Armstrong, if you know Brad Armstrong, because I know Brad Armstrong, I know most of the world, he's timid as can be, nicest guy, could do anything, take his shirt off for you. If the only shirt he had, he'd give it to you, you know. I'm still young, green. I shot him in that rope. And I hit him with a doggone clothesline. I thought when you clothesline somebody, you take that head off.
Right.
When I threw it, boy, I hit him so hard, it flipped him, and his arms were so loose. His elbow came up and popped me right in the corner of this eye right here. And it cut it all the way through here and 5 little splits right here. They had to go in that night. Well, the greatest thing is Bill Watts. We'll get back to Bill Watts again. That's how great guy Bill Watts is. He goes, kid, you got to go out for the next TV. You and Ted are defending the belts. And I'm going, I'm young. Okay. All right, I'll go do it one more time. So they're jamming. I mean, it's bleeding everywhere, right? They're jamming Vaseline up there to stop the blood and everything. Right. And it's swelling up and everything. I went out there and wrestled with Ted, and we leveled the people out and cleared out. And I went to the hospital, and I tell you, they took the IV bottle. It was plastic. And they'd take the IV and they'd hold my eye open because they had to clean all the mess out.
Right.
And it just looked like a doggone garden hose right at your eye and put a full blast. And they went, sprayed it, cleaned it out, man. They had to stitch inside as well as outside because it was around that. I'm lucky my eye was still there, for them, and my eyesight was still good. But, hey, man, that was another good thing they was talking about, 108 stitches. It's in the business. As long as they're talking about you, you're doing well, man,
right.
How
about Ted Dibiase? How important was he to you?
Fantastic. He was like, in your career, in your life, you come across friends that are in your business that are acquaintances, but you don't call them friends. And with Ted Dibiase, he was a best friend. He was a brother. He was just like Terry Gordy and God bless Gary Albright. I mean, they were all three like my brothers, right? I learned a lot off of Ted. I mean, that's where I learned how to be a heel, how to be. I was always the strongman gimmick. I was always just rough and rugged, but I didn't know how to do that little cheating stuff that the heels got, and where
Right.
you wanted that, where the people were booing at you, and I learned a lot from Ted, a lot. I mean, he taught me a lot, and it was the greatest run I had, with him as being as a teacher, and we had the Mid-South belts, and I mean, it's a great guy. And you know what? He's great now because he's in Mississippi, Jackson, Mississippi, and I live in Shreveport, and he's on our TV all the time because he's a reborn Christian, preacher. And it's great, it's kind of neat, because I know Ted Dibiase.
Huh.
I know Ted Dibiase. And it's great to see somebody change their life because I have nothing to hold either. I was wild and crazy in my young days too. We all come to an age that we all grow up and say this stuff ain't not for us,
Right.
But I'm happy for Ted. It's great to see him.
What are your memories of Gary?
Wow. I know Gary's and his family so well, man. It's a hard thing. I was gone, and we were just bringing back the varsity team. I mean, TOP. It wasn't called the varsity team. It was just called TOP. And they let him off the January tour and brought me back. And I just talked to him. It was New Year's Day, New Year's Eve, and they're all out in their backyard with their family and shooting off firecrackers. And just having a blast, and he was so tickled to death I was coming back and reunite the team and everything. And he's out riding his mountain bike, getting in shape and everything. He was a diabetes, had a problem with that and everything. And he was taking care of himself, looking after his body, man. I talked to him 2 nights before he passed away. One more time, it was gun ho, man. We're going to be rock and roll when we get back, man. It's everything. So it was all fired up, and next thing I knew, I was on the bus and got the phone call and told me he passed out in the ring, passed away out in the ring in Allentown, and that was a shocker, man. I mean, so young, but he's in a better place too, man.
Right.
He's not gonna have to hurt no more. Have to stick a needle in him because he's a diabetes. I mean, I seen him do that. I know that it's gonna bother somebody. Because a diabetes, have to hit yourself with a blade every needle all the time, man. I mean, it's gotta get to you after a while, right?
Right.
So, but he's in a better place, and his family's doing well. And if you know the Samoans, they are strong people, so they're survivors.
Right. Now, right before Ted Dibiase left for the World Wrestling Federation, they started they did a promo, you guys did a promo together, where I think you guys were going to start with a program or something like that.
Yeah, Alan phased out too, right? See, we was going to work against each other, and then off into with Ric Flair's deal, right?
Right.
And then Kenny got the $1 Million Man, got offered $1 million, so that's where he went, and then they captured Jim Duggan then too. Right.
And how did the rest of the boys in the locker room treat you when you first started in Mid-South? Like, did they accept you right away?
Nope.
No.
Nope. I was a shooter. I was a top-notch amateur wrestler. The only guy who ever beat me, major guy, was Bruce Baumgartner, Olympic champion. And everybody had a bad taste because I was Bill Watts' protege. Well, I guess you could call it his boy. And but after people got to know me, I'm not, big head and ego trip, because I got a lot of gold medals at home and they ain't buying me nothing. I'm into this business for money, and that's what I'm here for. I believe, sure, all them belts are nice, man, but the belts don't buy you no house.
Right.
And don't buy you, what your kids need and stuff like that. But they didn't take to me very well, and they got to know me, and I'm a heck of a guy. I mean, I do my job, when I get done with my job, that's my time.
TitleMatchNetwork.com